Hello, my name is Sara Potvin, and I am here today to tell you about an amazing business opportunity that was inspired by my recent travels through Vietnam. The country and its people surprised me in the best way and forever changed my view of friendship, family, and perseverance. I know that once you take a few moments to listen to my impressions, you will see why this is the perfect business opportunity which marries the strengths of the Vietnamese culture with the opportunities in the American business marketplace today. As I tell you that I recently went to Vietnam, what thoughts ran through your mind? Perhaps when you think of Vietnam, you simply think of its iconic rice paddies being tirelessly worked by farmers wearing traditional non la, the conical leaf hats pictured here. Perhaps if you were like me before I took this trip, you knew nothing much of the country or its people at all, besides the Vietnam War. You may have scenes from the conflict, the casualties, and the resulting protests here at home in America indelibly etched in your memory. You may also have worries about how the Vietnamese people view Americans, or perhaps you think the country still suffers today from the war which ended 40 years ago. After the war ended in 1975, Vietnam suffered immensely. In the early 1980s, Vietnam was one of the poorest countries in the world. Economic growth was stagnant, and poverty was widespread. Hunger was also a major problem because of rice, the main food staple. The production was insufficient to feed the country's growing population. Hundreds of thousands of people were fleeing the country in unsafe boats to escape the conditions and the re-education camps, which were put in place by the victorious North Vietnamese government in order to bring Southerners who had fought alongside Americans back in line. I had the incredible privilege of meeting Michelle Ngo, pictured here to the right. She identified herself with the boat people of Vietnam. She and her family tried to flee imprisonment in the boats several times. At last she was free, but all alone in America with her siblings at the tender age of 11. Her parents remained imprisoned in Vietnam until she was in her 20s. Now Michelle is a successful businesswoman working at Transcend People Limited and is helping other young people to fulfill their dreams in Vietnam. Michelle represents only one of the incredible people whom I met in Vietnam. Fast forward to 2014. Because of an incredible strength of character, spirit, and resilience, Vietnam has cut hunger and has reduced poverty from about 58% of the population in 1993 to just 18% today. To put this in perspective, this means that since 1993, roughly 6,000 people per day have been pulled out of hunger and poverty. But they did not stop there. It is easiest to view Vietnam's amazing 40-year transformation through the lens of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow's theory states that people possess a set of motivation systems. Once a certain level of basic needs are met, then humans can progress to the next level. If one views Vietnam and the Vietnamese people as they were after the war ended, they were failing to meet even the basic level of physiological needs, that is food, water, and warmth. Now, 40 years later, the country has completely turned itself around. With colleges burgeoning with new graduates, modern metropolitan cities buzzing with motorcycles and the excitement of commerce, Vietnam is now firmly settled on the fourth tier of Maslow's hierarchy: self-esteem, achievement, mastery, and recognition. It is because gorgeous modern Saigon City, the relentlessly hopeful and hardworking populace, and the amazing delectable cuisine that now exists in every eatery, that I present to you my inspiration and my exciting business opportunity. Introducing Saigon Sky Vietnamese cuisine, serving authentic, artisanal, and locally sourced Vietnamese cuisine to metropolitan Portland, Maine food lovers in a modern, warm, and welcoming setting. Saigon Sky, where life tastes better. Now you may be thinking, another restaurant, but there are so many to choose from already. The USDA's Economic Research Service would disagree, however, and would think that another restaurant is a good thing. Because according to their 2010 study, the food service industry represents a large and growing market that is nearly equal in size to food retailing. In fact, in 2010, the food service industry had grown to over $594 billion annually. Another indication of growth for the restaurant industry comes from the National Restaurant Foundation's 2014 Restaurant Industry Forecast, which found that since 1955, the restaurant industry's share of the food dollar has nearly doubled, with more and more Americans eating out instead of cooking at home. While the restaurant market is growing rapidly, and competition along with it, I will demonstrate how my concept will set Saigon Sky clearly apart from its competitors in the metropolitan Portland, Maine market. Through delectable food and an unforgettable experience, my business will help you, your family, your friends, and your love transcend from the first all the way up to the fourth levels of Maslow's hierarchy in as little as 30 minutes. A bold aim, I know. So how will a visit to Saigon Sky transform and transport you towards self-actualization? Let's start at the first level, just as the Vietnamese did. Did you know that according to the Maine Hunger Initiative, Maine ranks third in the nation and first in New England for hunger issues? Open for dinner Monday through Sunday, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., Saigon Sky will not only help to satisfy diners by serving delicious and affordable Vietnamese cuisine to regular customers, but it will also help to end Maine's hunger crisis by working with local organizations such as Maine Hunger Initiative and Preble Street Food Pantry to raise money and awareness, encourage volunteer efforts, and donate unused foodstuffs to those in need. Saigon Sky will also work toward a more sustainable and hunger-free future by sourcing any ingredients possible from local farms, butchers, and bakers. Not content to rest there, Saigon Sky will create a modern, clean, and elegant space where you can enjoy your delicious dinner. The service will be as amazing as it was in Vietnam when I traveled to the country, with all of the servers on staff ensuring that your meal is perfect at every step. Saigon Sky's space will feature high ceilings and colorful lights to mimic the colorful skyscrapers that dominate Vietnam's biggest city skyline. The square footage of the restaurant will be modest, however, to retain a comforting and intimate feeling. As you taste Saigon Sky's foodie interpretations of Vietnamese classic recipes and sip on creative cocktails designed to transport you to warmer climes, you can enjoy the company of your treasured friends and family. Saigon Sky's staff and owners will help to make you part of their family as well, by making every effort to remember your favorite dishes and to invite you back to try our exotic monthly specials. I will use this monthly special process as a way to keep costs down on the more exotic ingredients while testing the waters with some more creative offerings. Within the first year, Saigon Sky will also begin to offer monthly cooking classes so that couples, families, friends, and even total strangers can enjoy the Vietnamese hospitality I experienced when I cooked and ate family style with the locals in their homes. Finally, the fourth level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs can be achieved by Saigon Sky and its owners by becoming known locally, regionally, and perhaps someday even in faraway Vietnam for our amazing cooking, our gracious service, our respect of the Vietnamese resilience and spirit, and for our efforts to end hunger and encourage sustainable and local farmers. I hope that you now understand my inspiration and my business concept. I would now like to address the other details important to you as my future investor. Since I have explained the what and the why of my business concept, I will briefly explain the who, the when, and the hows of my business plan. So who are the future co-owners and operators of Saigon Sky? First, there is Ryan Massey. Ryan will handle the cooking, IT, and routine maintenance needs of the restaurant. Ryan has a background in both IT and project management, making him an excellent choice to handle crises as they inevitably occur. He has also been raised in a kitchen since an early age. He has a passion for ethnic cuisine and considers himself both a foodie and a perfectionist. These three traits will allow him to master Vietnamese cuisine while adding his own foodie flair to each creation. Next is Sara Potvin, myself. I will handle all financial, accounting, and front-of-house aspects of the business. I have an accounting degree and am close to completing my MBA and CPA licensure requirements. I have over 20 years of professional experience in the restaurant, retail, business, and client service sectors. Both Ryan and I have key professional and personal contacts in various fields that can help us to obtain favorable vendor, supplier, and business contracts for the business. Resumes and references are of course available upon request. As for the other personnel, we will start the business with just the two of us to keep costs down. The first employees we would hire would wash dishes, wait tables, or sous chef for us. In order to achieve our goals, we will split up responsibilities for the initial business launch. Ryan will begin training on Vietnamese cooking techniques, researching the restaurant's IT needs such as the point-of-sale equipment, software, internet and Wi-Fi connection, phone service, audio service, and utility needs. He will also research and purchase the specific kitchen equipment that he will need. Sara will start by filing the necessary entity paperwork for tax and business formation purposes. She will set up an accounting system and scout locations for the restaurant. She will also arrange an initial trip to Vietnam for two purposes: on-site training for Chef Ryan and to purchase restaurant decor at bargain prices. Sara will purchase all visual elements for the restaurant as well as tableware. Both Sara and Ryan will conceptualize, print, and laminate menus. Once the menus have been finalized, meetings will be arranged with local farmers to work out local ingredient sourcing, and restaurant vendors will be contacted to fill in the remainder of the requests. Sara will have all signage printed and social media sites set up. Ryan will create a website. There will be an initial launch week that's exclusive to personal and business contacts and investors only, and then the restaurant will be open for business. Finally, we will address the how. The rough timeline for securing a location for the restaurant will be 4 months. The remainder of the business setup once we have a location will be an additional 4 months, and another 4 months to establish our regular clientele and service. Given that and all of our estimated costs shown on this rough initial income statement and a startup period of 1 year, we are seeking your initial investment of approximately $200,000. Saigon Sky cannot happen without you and your generous investment. We will not be able to achieve our vision and bring all of the amazing aspects of the Vietnamese and their warm hearts back to the Maine public. We will not be able to work on ending hunger in Maine, patronizing local farmers, and most importantly, we will not be able to make your life taste better. We will hope that you will consider our proposal and will become our investor in the most exciting new business concept in Maine. Thank you for your time and consideration.